should not offer respect. But all of them are in disobedience to God. You cannot be obedient to God and not offer respect to your husband. You can't. Bible tells us we are to respect them. It's not easy. We tend to think that when I feel love, then I'll offer respect. But men, it's not that way for them. When they feel respected, then they can offer love. And there are times when I've gone, God, really? You made us almost completely opposite because I don't understand. I really sometimes struggle with this. Why is it that their need for respect sometimes is so conducive to their love for us? And why is it that my need for love only needs to be fulfilled first before I can be, show respect? Why is this a battle? But it is. And I can either sit there and wonder and complain and whine about it, or I can say, oh God, help me. Help me respect my husband. And what does that look like in my marriage? And what kind of respect does my husband need from me? Do you remember those lies that we started pulling out? See, one of the lies I had was that my husband needed respect in a certain way. But what I came to find out is respect for my husband meant something different than what I thought it meant. Chances are that's probably the same for you too. Have you ever thought about how your husband feels respected? Have you ever asked God to show you how to show respect for your husband? I know I shared with you one of the very first times that I offered up respect for my husband was when I was struggling with being a stay-at-home mom, when I really never thought I ever would be, and when I was struggling at having to live with the idea that it was only his income, and how did I fit in with all of that? And God was telling me, you need to tell him thank you. I'm thinking, really? I'm not even happy where I'm at, and you want me to tell him thank you for putting me here? And God said, yeah. And as a result of that action, my husband did feel respect. And when he started feeling that respect from me, it broke something between us. Something ugly was broken, and we started beginning to be able to heal. I don't know anything about your marriages, but I know that if you're not respecting your husband, he's not feeling loved by you. I know that if you're angry and bitter about something, and so you're withholding respect, you're withholding your willingness to submit, that you are in direct opposition to God. And we know that when we're in direct opposition to God, nothing good ever comes from it. But doing this is part of a process that we're going to be using over and over and over again in the rest of this class. We've talked about submission. We've talked about submitting to God's will for our lives, to submitting to God, Jesus' way of doing things, to submitting to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And now we're talking about submission to our husbands as the authority and leaders in our lives. This means you ask, is it okay if I? Is it okay if I go shopping? Would you mind if I repainted the living room? What would you think if I tore out the front yard and replanted it with something else? That's part of submission. But we also then, in the rest of this process with our husbands and any other relationship we're in, we go from submission right into respect. We have to offer our husbands respect. They work hard. And that doesn't mean we don't. That does not mean that we don't. But we have to offer them the respect for what they do. We have to offer them respect that the fact that they are the husband God chose for us. Even if we can't really see why right now, they're still the husband that God chose for us. We need to offer them our respect. And when we offer them our respect, they feel love. Okay, that's how they're wired. I wish I could explain better. I don't know, but that's what I know. But once we offer our respect, then it leads us to the third part, and that is to forgive. We have got to forgive our husbands. It doesn't matter what they've done. It doesn't matter how much they've hurt us. Forgiving them frees us from the bitterness and the resentment that will block any healing in our marriage. And I'm not telling you that forgiveness means that they are perfectly okay with what they did. We just need to forgive them. Once we forgive them, then we can develop that emotional and physical intimacy. Yeah, I'm talking about spending time with our husbands and having fun and hanging out and offering our physical bodies to them. This is all part of our marital relationship, and it is all part of cultivating a healthy marriage. When we can do these 4 steps, when we can submit, offer respect, forgive, and build emotional and physical intimacy, then we can start feeling the love that we so long for. It's a cycle. And because you're in this class, it has to start with you. Ladies, this is just the beginning. Today in this session, we're mostly talking about respect and submission. Next week, we'll continue on with developing what it really looks like for all the other areas of this process. But I pray that you will keep an open mind. I pray that you will keep an open heart. But I pray overall that you will ask God into this process to guide you through it, and that you will listen to Him and not compare yourselves and your marriages to anybody else. We've spent all this time cutting out all these weeds. Don't let any new ones back in. Thank you.